A better route. Chapter 71. The Raikage was really at a loss for words. Do you think Heiden's telling the truth about Kakashi joining the Akatsuki? Obito sighed deeply. I don't really know. He's giving us a list of the location that the Akatsuki have bases in the other room with Itachi. We're going to check all of them out and see if we can't find out the truth. While I'm confident in my abilities, I think I'll call in back before I go charging in there. With the Akatsuki, even Itachi wouldn't want to go in there alone. Agreed. Yeah, you wouldn't want to face too many of them at once. Obito had to ask, did they find Yujito after whoever that other Akatsuki guy was took her away? That wasn't a topic the Raikage was happy to talk about, no, not even a trace. They checked that area we lost her in and didn't find shit. Obito figured that would be the case. We'll see what we can do while we're checking the bases. The Raikage was grateful for that. That would be much appreciated, thank you. Best of luck in finding your son. Obito shook his hand and he and Itachi left to go see what Itachi had found out. He was hoping Haiden had given him something good. Torai smiled under her bandages as Pain told her the good news. Zetsu brought us her a few hours ago. We're waiting for your permission to start the extraction. Unfortunately, Kakuzu's dead and we've yet to locate Haiden. Torai wasn't all that concerned about them, a small sacrifice for the cause. Start the extraction as soon as possible, don't worry if she dies during. A boy who looked to be about 14 stopped her when she said that. Is there some kind of reason we've got to kill her? I mean, I'm sure we've got someone around here who can make sure she survives the process. We've got all that medical equipment lying around here, so let's use it. Torai wasn't used to being questioned. Kakashi, why on earth would we risk keeping her alive? Kakashi didn't see why they had to kill her. There's no risk in keeping her alive, we'll just keep her knocked and drop her off somewhere when we're done. She's not gonna be able to them where we are if she was knocked out the whole time. You told Kakashi that the whole point of what we are doing is to bring peace to the world. Killing this girl doesn't help us achieve that at all. Torai had to admit, there was no logical reason they had to kill the girl. Alright, we'll keep her alive. However, you're going to help stabilize her once we're done. Pain, can Conan help him keep her alive? Pain didn't see why not. Yes, Conan may not be a medical expert, but she's at least experienced enough to help keep her alive. Torai and Pain left the room and Tori called back, go and see Conan and tell her about what the new plan. Kakashi nodded and ran off to go and find her. Looking over the list he'd been given one more time and looking at his own list to make sure he'd gotten everything down, Itachi asked Haiden, so this really is everything? There's no locations that this list left out? Haiden shook his head, nope, not a single one. Oh, and why the fuck did you write it down again? You couldn't just make copies when you got back? Itachi ignored the question, turned to Obito who had entered the room just a few minutes ago. What do you want to do with him? Obito asked Haiden, what do you intend to do if we let you go? Haiden got a dark glint in his eye. What the fuck do you think I'm gonna do? Obito activated his Mangekyo Sharingan. Sorry, but I'm not keeping you alive if you're going to go off and start killing people again. Haiden looked surprised. Hold on, if you kill me then you're gonna lose the, oh shit. Obito could see that he figured out why they wrote it down twice. Sorry Haiden, but I technically didn't lie to you. We never said that we'd keep you alive if you gave us the list. Haiden tried to object, but it was far too. The Amaterasu had already started to take its effect. His body began to burn and before long there was nothing left of him but ash. Obito hated having to kill him, even if he was a monster, but he was still too risky to keep alive. It was hard to try and decide when you had to kill someone and when you could let them live. You had to try and tell the difference between what would be a senseless killing and when something just had to be done. That was one of the things he hated the most about being in charge. Itachi looked at him and asked, do you want to go and see Naruto and the others with Sasuke? Obito thought that sounded like paradise after the way everything had been going, definitely. Kakashi looked around the Akatsuki's base for the angle of the Akatsuki Konan, which he thought was a very appropriate name for her. She was a beautiful woman with blue hair and nice eyes. It wasn't a mystery why so many men were enchanted with her. Almost every man in Akatsuki been shot down by her at one time or another, except of course for Kakashi. While Kakashi was 14 at the moment, Konan was 31. I wasn't able to find the age of her anywhere, but this seemed pretty close based on the timeline I set up. After all, they were like 16 when Tori got pain, and I had them have Kakashi like a year later. Even if he had wanted to hit on her, he knew he was too young to try anything. He finally saw he talking to one of Pain's paths, so he walked over and told her, "Hey Konan-chan." She'd asked Kakashi to stop calling her that but had given up after a few months. To be honest, she kind of started to like it after a while. "Kakashi needs your help with something." Konan never minded helping out. "What do you need?" Kakashi explained the situation to her and asked, "So you'll help Kakashi, right?" Konan was very surprised to hear what Kakashi wanted to do. "I've gotta say, Kakashi, I'm rather impressed. Most of our members wouldn't care if she lived or died." Kakashi shrugged. Kakashi never was one to be considered normal. "Is that a yes?" Konan nodded. "I'd be happy to help in any way I can." They began to walk and Kakashi decided to make small talk. "So, how've you been?" Konan smiled. "Actually, a little better lately. Kisame finally stopped hitting on me." Kakashi was surprised to hear that. "Really, how come?" Konan gave a small laugh. "Well, let's just say that I walked in on him and Teneki trying to settle a bet." Kakashi knew what bet she was talking about. The two had been arguing about who could rock whose world for ages now. He just had to ask, who won? Konan rolled her eyes. They said it was a tie and they'd have to keep trying. Honestly, those two are perfect for each other. Kakashi thought it was pretty funny himself. Yeah, Kakashi's guesses they are. Obito was absolutely amazing at just how nice Turtle Island really was. When he'd heard it was an island on Giant Turtle, he kind of pictured the back of Mossy Turtle. However, this just might have been one of the most beautiful places in the world. He could hear Sasuke and the others talking over in the near the waterfall, so he went over to join them. "Hey everyone, how've you been?" Naruto was happy to see his uncle. "We're doing awesome, Uncle Obito. We've been getting super strong. B-sensei even says that we can try and take full control of our tailed beast in just a week." Obito liked the sound of that. "Excellent, you'll be one of our strongest ninjas in the village in no time." Sasuke felt the need to tell about how strong he'd been getting as well. "I've gotten all 3 Tomiyos on my Sharingan now and I've learned a ton of new jutsus. I'm not gonna fall behind Naruto." Naruto was glad to hear it. "You'd better not, I wouldn't a weak rival." Sasuke remembered where his uncle had come from. "So what did you find out about Kakashi? Did the Akatsuki give you anything good?" Obito wasn't going to lie to the boy, but he wasn't exactly going to tell him the truth either. "There's a possibility that he might be at one of the Akatsuki's bases and we were able to acquire a list of all their current locations. We're going to call for a little bit of backup and explore all of the bases. If we don't find Kakashi, then at least we'll have a chance to deliver a major blow to the Akatsuki." Fu didn't understand one thing. Why on earth would Kakashi be with the Akatsuki? Obito didn't have to lie about this one. "I don't know, I really don't know." Itachi could see that Obito was still having a hard time dealing with even the thought that Kakashi might have joined the Akatsuki. Still, he was right. They really didn't know if Kakashi had joined the Akatsuki. So many things about him doing that wouldn't make sense. Why would the Akatsuki want a Chunin to join them? How did Kakashi even get in contact with them? Was there some kind of reason that he joined? With that many questions, there really was only one answer as to why Kakashi would be with the Akatsuki. No one knew. They stayed for a few more hours but had to leave soon after that. There were a lot of things they had to prepare for. Kakashi and Konan looked at Yujito on the table in front of them, watching her heart monitor closely. The extraction had gone just fine and it looked like she was going to be just fine. Konan explained to him after the extraction was finished that the more tails a tailed beast had, the harder it was to extract. Konan asked Kakashi, "So where were you thinking she should be drop off?" Kakashi thought about it for a second and said, "Kakashi thinks if we just leave her on one of the rods that lead to the hidden cloud she should be fine." Konan figured that would work. Alright, she should be stabilized in a few hours. We'll have Zetsu drop her off there once we're done. Kakashi was curious about one thing: how did you learn about all this medical stuff anyways? Konan sighed, "I had to learn it to take care of pain. He doesn't require much, but he only trusts me to do it. You remind me so much of him before." Kakashi heard that last part. Before what? Konan shook her head, "Don't worry about it. Perhaps someday I'll tell you." Kakashi wanted to know now, but could see that this wasn't an easy topic for Konan to talk about. He'd find out one day, but not today.